Hello, this is Teacher Wayne, and we have been looking at our game. We've been looking at our player. Last thing we did, we've got our player with our gun working. Let me just press play and you can see what's happening. Just a quick recap. Oops. There we go. So the last thing we had is we've got the zombie facing us. He could chase us. We can't do anything with our gun at the moment. I've got a fairly big jump, but we can fix that later maybe. So we've got it all working. The zombie works. So what I want to do now is I want to move on to the next bit. So we've got our pistol here. And there's our gun. We've got an animator. We've got some code I want to add to it. So just to recap, we should have this set up. If you've not downloaded it correctly, but you've got your 4 states, your zombie, not your zombie, your gun can be in. It can be idle, you can be jumping it as a jump animation, it can reload, and you can fire. But important, and be by default it's idle. We don't need to have that idle necessarily. But anyway, let's get on with the next bit, really. So, I want to add some code here called the zombie shoot, which I'll provide to you in this video. So don't worry about that. Just give me a second while I find it. There we are. Just going to drag it across. It's called gun animation. So we click on our gun. Oh, let it compile. It's always a good idea you watch it compile there, by the way. It shows you that Unity is working. It's linking with these scripts properly. Let me just open up my gun animation, then you can see it. By the way, just an FYI, I've spotted this myself. When you're using Visual Studio, make sure that you've got the bolt-ins. What do I mean by that? I mean that there, can you see it's attached to Unity? There, it's attached to Unity. It's aware that it's a C# script, and it's attaching itself to Unity here. It helps when you're running the game that it's attached automatically to Unity. And we're going to be using this gun animation. All this gun animation actually does is, it's a bit like the zombie. We've got different states. The shoot, we can have the states that we showed you. Let me open up my game. First time I've seen that message. I'm not exactly sure what to do with that. So anyway, we've got our different states. We've got idle, jump, reload and fire. So if we look here, let's move this across a little bit. We've got our shoot, we've got our jump, our reload and idle. Each of them, can you see? So if these are all different methods that are what's known as public methods. That means they can be called from outside of this code. So there's the different ones is shoot. So we set shoot to true. Can you see that? We have jump, so we set the jump to true. Reload, we set the reload to true, and the idle, we set that to true. So in other words, there's nothing happening. Basically, these are the 4 animation states we're setting here. Let's just maximize this. So if I look here and show you, I just want to spend a little bit of time on this because it's important. If you click on here, you can see it goes from idle to fire. We set to true as the shooting as true. Now, one thing I want to point out is when you're playing your game and you're clicking away with your mouse button when it's shooting here, there's a lot of parameters, depends how fast it shoots. Can you see here that the duration is a fixed duration going from idle to fire? Press fire here, it fires over a certain period of time, so you can't really spam the mouse button expecting go fire quickly, it will not work. The animation sequence is what it is. Now you can adjust, you can change certain settings here, the transition time, you can change the actual size, speed of it. You can actually set the speed that these animation sequences, can you see you've got this one up here, so we can actually change it. So if I make that 0.5, it will fire twice as quickly, for example. So these are the things you may want to consider in your game. But anyway, I've just downloaded my gun. I want to apply it. It's quite straightforward. You just literally just drag and you drop it. And now we have some script linked to that. So I just wanted to show that this gun animation, it won't do anything specific yet. That gun animation is going to be eventually linked to the player script, which I'll provide in the next video. But I think one thing I want you to think about for this point of view is have a look at the different, be aware the different transition times here. Another thing I want to show you, if we go to assets, let's go to scene mode here. This is the gun here. If I click on here, right, can you see I just clicked on here? Can it shows you the different speeds of all the different animation sequences? And for example, if I'm doing the Fire Magnum, then I click on here and I've got Fire Magnum. Right, let's go back here, click there again. So Fire Magnum, scrolling down here, can you see that's set as 79 milliseconds? So if, for example, I wanted to fire my Magnum quicker, I could change this down to 50 and it will fire a lot faster. There's just one example of what you can do. You can manually, I think you can, yeah, you can manually change it as well. I'm going to leave it at 50 now, so it fires every half second, and I don't want to loop it, I just want it to fire once, so be careful of that. So for example, if I go reload, can you see the reload is 179 milliseconds. It takes a long time to do a reload, which is how it should be really. It should take a while. The idle, 60 seconds idle sequence for it. It doesn't really do a lot. We can reduce that down to, let's make them all 50 and keep them all about the same. So jump, I'm going to leave that as 95 because we are up in the air. Reload 39, and that's a no, it's jump 4, ignore that one. Leave that one as it is. It's the Magnum 50 seconds. So I've just reduced some here. These are important things to consider when you're clicking on it. On the animation here, you can change the time of things. You can also change the speed. Save. You can change the speed of each one as well. So I might want to make this 0.5. You won't be able to test it in this video or in this setting because we haven't got the coding yet. But we will be soon. I just thought I'd spend a bit of time on that. Anyway, this is Teacher Wayne. I hope you enjoy this video. Please like and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video where we're going to be talking about, we're going to be linking it, we're going to be adding more code and getting it so the player can actually shoot. There you go. Thank you very much and goodbye.